So let's talk about the Boston Celtics. They are 59-16. They are one game away from clinching home court throughout the entire playoffs. And if you're watching this team, you're probably thinking they're the most dominant team in the NBA. Some people think they're just going to coast through the playoffs and win the championship. Others, like me, even as a Celtics fan, has some questions still because I'm going to be straight with you guys. I have not been moved one bit by what they've done this season. And it really just comes down to, are they going to finish the job? Because we've seen them have great seasons. We saw the turnaround in 2022. They had that fantastic run. They get to the finals, and what happens? They run into the Warriors. Andrew Wiggins locks up Tatum, and then doubt starts to creep in. They come back. They get Malcolm Brogdon. They have their strong start, and then the three-point variant starts kicking in. They were losing to teams under 500, teams who had injuries, and it was a weird season last year. But they get to the playoffs, and you're feeling good, thinking like, okay, they're going to turn it up, and they're going to make the finals again. They get a easy walk to the finals, or so you thought when the Bucks lost to the Heat in the first round. But then they run into the Miami Heat in the conference finals. But even before that, when they faced the Atlanta Hawks, what happened? They went to 6 games, and you thought to yourself, why did they go 6 against Atlanta when they should have finished the job in game 5 in their building? They go 7 against Philly. They were down 3-2 in that series. It looked like Tatum wasn't going to show up. And in the last 5 minutes, he rescues himself from what would have been a utter collapse. It would have been a terrible offseason if he didn't turn that game around for himself. And you obviously know about Tatum game 7. And then you go to Miami. Miami goes up 3-0. And you're like, why are we down to an 8th seed? Now, I'm going to give you 2 reasons why I still think the Boston Celtics may choke in the playoffs again. And it's not me hating on Tatum. I think Tatum is a top 10 player. I don't think he's better than guys like Luka, guys like Giannis yet. I still got LeBron better than him, Curry, Jokic. Those are my guys that are still better than Tatum. But at the same time, I think Tatum can get his shot at redemption in these playoffs. And he's going to need to if he wants to change the perception of him. Because here's my biggest concern with the Celtics. Can Tatum be better than the best player on the other side of the court? We saw the 2 games against Denver. What happened? Jokic was the best player in those games, and Tatum wasn't good at all. So when I'm looking at him going up against Giannis, when I look at him going up against possibly Jimmy Butler, going up against Joel Embiid, going up against even Luka Doncic, if they end up making the finals, I start to ask these questions of, okay, Tatum, will you be better than the other alpha? Because he's going to have to be the alpha in those series. I want to pull up a stat from Tatum, and I'm going to share this from First Things First. And as you can see here, Tatum's first quarter, he shoots really well, almost 50% from the field. 30% from 3. 53 goes up in the second, 41% from 3. Third quarter is where there's a drop off, 44%, 37 from the 3. And then the fourth quarter in overtime, 40% and 32% from the 3. So my concern with this stat line is Tatum doesn't show up when you need him most, and that's the fourth quarter. Here's where Tatum needs to improve. It has to be his shot selection because there are too many times where Tatum likes to fall in love with that three-point shot. These step back threes, these pull up threes, and he has been shooting it better from the pull up three since the calendar year turned to 2024. But I don't think that's a healthy shot in the playoffs. I think for Tatum, he needs to be in the post more, getting to the free throw line. Now, to his credit, he was like 12th in free throw attempts, I believe, a few weeks ago. He's moved up to 6, which is good because it tells me that he is trying to get in the paint, get quality looks. But I need that more consistently, especially in the last 5 minutes of the game, which leads me to my next point. If you watch the Boston Celtics in fourth quarters, you know that they can choke a game away. And the biggest thing you want to watch out for when you're watching Boston is they play at a slow, and when I mean slow, they're walking the ball up the court. And when you notice that from Boston, you know right away they're getting ready to blow the lead. It's night and day. It's so consistent. But when they're playing with pace, they're moving the ball, they're actually working to get a quality shot and not just going for these ISO reliant plays and hoping that they win the game. You notice the offense flows better. And it's really going to come down to Jason Tatum playing with more pace. I trust Jaylen Brown. I trust Derek White. I trust Al Horford. I trust Kristaps. When it comes to Tatum, will he play with more pace? You see, the thing is, he has to learn to get to a spot faster and make quicker decisions in those moments when it requires you to make quicker choices. We've seen Boston in those moments turn the ball over. We've seen Tatum make head scratching passes or just turn the ball over or get a tough contested 3 in the last few minutes of a game. Let's pull up the clutch stats from Boston. Again, from First Things First. This is Boston's stats since the All-Star break. In the last 5 minutes when the game's within 5 points. You see those rankings there. Offensive rating, they're 14th. Defensive rating, 21st. Net rating, 20th. Field goal percentage, 20th. 3-point percentage, 19th. Opponent field goal percentage is 18th, and opponent 3-point percentage is 22nd. I would love to see the stat on offensive rebounding, because when I see them try to rebound the ball, and we saw it against the Hawks game last week, they had a chance to get the rebound up 112-109. What happens? That the Hawks get the rebound, they make a three to tie the game. And you're thinking to yourself, they just learn to get those key rebounds and important possessions of the game, they'll win. You can see Boston just shooting themselves in the foot time and time again. This is why I have concerns about this team, because, again, if they don't come out in the first round and win in 5 games or sweep their opponent, I'm going to be concerned right away, because it would be the same chapter I saw last year with them. Now, could they still get to the finals? Sure. But can they beat the Denver Nuggets? I don't think so, because Denver's offense is so in sync and they run their plays and they have such a purpose to what they're doing. Boston's ceiling is higher, I would say, but they don't reach it enough. Denver doesn't have to rely on 3-point shots to beat you. They proved that last year in the finals. So if Boston is heavily reliant on 3, unless the threes are not working in the game, well, what are you going to do at that point? Are you going to keep shooting them, or are you going to learn that, okay, the shots aren't falling, and let's try to get a better quality look in the paint. Let's try to get a mid-range shot. Let's try to get to the free throw line to change the pace of this game, because it's not going the way we would like it to go. I do want to share the clip from last week in the Celtics-Hawks game in that last possession with Tatum and show you the difference between him and the DeJounte Murray shot where he won the game for Atlanta. So before I play the clip, I want you to notice right away is Tatum is too far away from the three-point line. He's by center court, and he's waiting for a screen from Jrue Holiday, and there's less than 5 seconds to go. That's not a lot of time to get a quality look. My opinion is this. Now, before we dive into this play, I want to point out something that is concerning to me. Why is Tatum so far away from the paint and there's less than 5 seconds to go? And he's waiting for a screen for Jrue Holiday to hopefully get open, and all you need is 2 points. Here's what I would have done. Isolate the player and go one-on-one and shoot a mid-range over the top for the win. It's just simple basketball. But this right here is a mess to me.
Tatum again. They jump out on Bogey. 2 seconds, 1. Tatum at the buzzer. No good. And over.
Notice right away there was only like 2 seconds left to get a shot off. It would have been a lot easier if they went into isolation mode for Tatum and have him closer to the basket so he's not shooting that contested shot. It's easy to defend that play. It's simple. But when you're calling the screen with that much time left, it's going to kill you. And see, this is what will kill Boston in the playoffs, is these type of situations where if they don't have a better set play, this is going to kill them. It's going to cost them a championship. You can't run these kind of plays in the playoffs. It doesn't work.
They're going to do a lot of switching here.
Matthews needs help and gets it into Murray. The floor is.
Let's stop right there. Notice the difference in the two plays. Murray, yes, he's going up against Jrue Holiday, but he's in isolation. Again, under 5 seconds. All they need is a bucket, not even a 3-point shot, a 2-point shot to win the game. And here, there's a huge difference in coaching. Now, I don't know if Tatum was saying, hey, get a screen for me, or if Mazzulla was drawing up that play, but you can notice the difference here in coaching where it's going to matter in the playoffs.
Spread. It's Holiday. It's Murray from the top. Good!
Tough shot, but those kind of plays are going to cost Boston in the playoffs if they don't execute in the fourth quarter. You see, Boston in these situations is why people don't trust him. Even I don't trust him in those moments. And if I have to give my prediction right now with Boston and Denver, I'm picking Denver every day of the week, because we've seen in both matchups when the games are tight, Denver out-executes them down the stretch when the game is close. So those are the 2 reasons why Boston could potentially choke in the playoffs. Because of Jason Tatum, can he be the alpha? And will Boston execute in the clutch situation? Because every game is not going to be a blowout. And could they end up running through the East? Possibly. But when they get to the finals, should we expect them to win every game by 15 or more? Not very likely. So in these situations, Boston has to be better, because if they're not, it's going to be the same narrative this summer. And the pressure is only going to mount for them because Tatum, right now, he's 25 or 26, I'm sorry, and he hasn't hit his prime yet. But this is a big playoff moment for him. He's got to show up and be consistent, get to the free throw line consistently, be the leader of this team because there's been moments where people have questioned him, and rightfully so. Is Jaylen Brown a better player? I don't think he's better than Tatum, but Jaylen Brown sometimes it seems like he's got more of this alpha mentality out there where he wants the ball. He's not afraid of the moment. So for Tatum, it's very important for him to understand the situation and, hey, just get it done. Like when I've been watching this team all year, I'm like, okay, cool, that's nice. You won some games. You're 59-16. You have a large point differential. Great, awesome. But when it matters most, are they going to rise to the occasion or are they going to fold? Love to hear your thoughts on where you see the Celtics, ending this season. Do you see them winning it all, or do you see them voting again? Make sure you guys leave your comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.